and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, Yobe State Governor Ibrahim Gaidam blames withdrawal of troops from roadblocks around Dapchi and other towns for Monday's attack and abduction of students from Government Girls Science and Technical College. Parents of abducted Dapchi girls say that 105 of the students are missing, form an association to demand the rescue of their children. And troops of Operation Lafia Dole arrest top Boko Haram commander as they clear more of the terrorist hideouts in Sambisa forest. And death toll from the twin car bomb blast in the Somali capital Mogadishu rises to over 40.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's central bank says it has disbursed over 55 billion naira to 250,000 farmers under the Anchor Borrowers Program.
And on sports news tonight, Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr rules out bringing in new players to strengthen his squad for the 2018 World Cup in Russia.
We'll begin tonight with the revelation of the Yobe State Governor Ibrahim Gaidam on how the withdrawal of troops from Dapchi and other towns gave the insurgents a field day during the incursion on the Federal Government Science and Technical College, Dapchi. The governor describes the absence of the military at the checkpoint as a huge error, which led to the abduction of the schoolgirls. He has, however, asked the commanding officer of the Operation Lafia Dole in the area to restore military checkpoints for better security of lives and property. He was speaking when Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje paid him a visit in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital.
The ripples from Monday's abduction in Dapchi community, Yobe State, is far from over. Parents and guardians of the missing girls are still waiting anxiously for their return, but when that would be is what they do not know. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje is visiting Yobe to sympathize with the government and people over the attack. He expresses concerns that the development has further taken the country back in its efforts to stamp out activities of the insurgents.
Insurgency is going down on a daily basis. But what has just happened now is reawakening our minds that we are still with this very unfortunate instance.
Just like the people of Dapchi community, Governor Ibrahim Gaidam is worried about the security situation in the state, but his biggest worry is about the events before the attack on the Government Science and Technical School. He alleges that military checkpoints were withdrawn from Dapchi and other communities a few days before the attack.
There was not any justification whatsoever to withdraw the military from that village, knowing fully well that there is a girls' school there, numbering about 900 of them, and it's a local government headquarters, is one of our flashpoint areas. They withdrew the military personnel last week, which was not even known to us. Whatever is, I have drawn the attention, and I'm sure I have spoken to the theater commander, who promised that they will restore the presence of the military personnel there as from yesterday.
The governor is optimistic that the girls would be found and brought back home safely to their parents, but first, he wants security operatives to return to their duty posts and reassure the people that their lives and property will be well protected.
It is not only Governor Gaidam who is blaming the military for the attack. Some parents whose daughters were abducted have also been talking, but now there is a figure to the number of girls abducted at the Federal Government Girls Science and Technical College, Dapchi, in Yobe State. A group of parents and teachers from the school say that after compiling the list, they discovered that about 105 students were abducted from their dormitory. On Monday, the parents, who have now formed an association, have vowed to lay down their lives rather than ignore the struggle to rescue their missing children.
Calm is gradually returning to Dapchi after Monday's attack. but definitely not to the homes of parents and teachers whose daughters were abducted. The mothers are not the only ones crying. Their fathers have also been telling the tale of the Black Monday. They now have to live with the pain of hoping that someday their missing children will return home.
They didn't tell us anything about our girls up to now, but we are now planning to get the list of our the girls in order to proceed either to the governor or to anywhere that concern in order to provide our girls.
They are particularly worried about the absence of the military during the attack and several hours after.
There is not any Nigerian army in Dapchi when the accident occurred. No anybody come and assist us in the name of army or something unless around 12 to 12:30 midnight.
After several back and forth on the number of students abducted, the parents and teachers have finally compiled a list and also formed an association to champion the cause of rescuing the girls.
It's really painful for any child to be abducted after several years of upbringing, which turns out in vain, as the child's development is punctuated at the detriment of helping the parent or the society. That's the situation we are presently. If the parents are not strong-hearted, it will cost them their lives too.
The list has 105 students in all, raising more tension on their safety.
We have verifiable names, phone numbers, and all the details for scrutiny. We will do all our best to ensure they listen to us at the highest level. No child has returned among the 105 names we have so far compiled.
The girls may be missing, but not forever, as government authorities have promised to rescue them, just like they did in the case of the Chibok schoolgirls. The time frame for the search and rescue is what remains unknown.
Staying with security matters, Army authorities say the troops of Operation Lafia Dole currently carrying out Operation Deep Punch 2 in Borno State have captured a top Boko Haram commander and chased out insurgents hiding in the Sambisa forest and Lake Chad Basin area. A statement from the Deputy Director, Public Relations of Operation Lafia Dole, Colonel Oyema Onyekachuku, says that the insurgents were intercepted while attempting to escape. The statement adds that troops recovered several arms and ammunition from the insurgents, while 2 soldiers were injured in the process. According to him, troops also carried out different offensive against insurgents in Kamzero, Figi Crossing Point, Isa General Area, and Parusi, that would be Parisu area of the forest, where 5 terrorists were killed and several others injured. Some of the items recovered include a motorcycle with 10 bicycle tires, a bicycle, 3 Boko Haram flags, 1 solar panel, 5 drums of Guinea corn, AK-47 rifles and magazines, a dummy rifle, and a toolbox, among others. The rise in cases of robbery in taxis in Abuja, popularly called One Chance, has forced the Federal Capital Territory Police Command to re-strategize on how to improve security in the capital city by clamping down on unregistered taxis and motorbikes. The Commissioner of Police, who doubles as the chairman of the Abuja Joint Task Force, attributes the rise in cases of minor crimes within the FCT to the proliferation of such unregistered means of transportation, which often allows criminals to leave without a trace. The report.
Motorbikes, popularly called Okada, and taxis are popular modes of transportation in Abuja. While the taxis can operate anywhere within the Federal Capital Territory, motorbikes are restricted to the satellite towns. However, a rising trend has recently developed in which taxis and motorbikes ply the roads without registration numbers, which should be the first means of identification.
They never asked for plate number for legal here before. Nobody asked for. If they say we should do plate number, we should do it. Because every lots of things, they never did stop for plate number before.
If the government you want me to do, you go do. So government knows, you know challenges say, come do plate number. If you challenge do plate number, you go do it now.
The absence of such registration numbers have often rendered passengers who are victims of robbery in taxis, also called one chance, unable to identify their assailants. It is a situation the police are promising to address.
It doesn't only constitute a security threat, but in fact it is an offense to drive a vehicle or ride a motorcycle without registration number. That in itself is an offense. Even though I know there are so many agencies now that are there, so you won't know who is to do what. That may be the reason that brought about this confusion. But on our own part, the Nigeria police, and also try to synergize with others and ensure that we enforce law and orders within the FCT.
Although officials of government agencies responsible for the enforcement of the law on registration numbers agree that it is illegal for taxis and motorbikes to be unregistered, the implementation of this legislation remains very weak.
It's it has been very cumbersome. It can be very complex. Attacking the menace of motorbikes because of the influx, because of their nature. If you have to do that, you will need a lot of, let's say, trucks to impart such bikes. For a vehicle not to be registered or not to flag a number plate is illegal. And from the security point of view, like you rightly said, it could be used to commit an offense and they will not be able to trace them.
From the city center to the satellite towns, there is a growing number of taxis as well as motorbikes without registration numbers. And considering the rising security threat which has emerged as a result, it appears the authorities have a lot of work to do. Until then, commuters will have to be extra careful as they move around the capital city of Abuja.
Officials of the Lagos State Building Control Agency have been demolishing illegal structures and buildings erected without approval on Fremont Street, Lagos Island. The exercise is in continuation of moves by the Lagos State government to ensure that buildings are duly certified and approved for construction and also reduce incidents of building collapses in the state. The agency has visited Ijeromi, Ifelodun and Yaba local government areas 2 weeks ago, demolishing and prosecuting offenders for flouting federal and state regulations. Apart from demolishing the buildings, more than 20 houses were also sealed and marked for demolition for failure to get approvals from the government.
People largely ignore us because you can imagine government coming to seal a site and the developers having the effrontery to continue working without a permit, not even having a submission with government. I want to do this. Is that people are just building contrary to what the laid down laws of the state. So we now thought it was okay on a weekly basis, every Saturday, every recalcitrant development will be visited, not just to be sealed again, to be toked, like you're seeing behind me now. We're doing some partial demolition, not total demolition. In the well, believing that such a developer will come and do the needful, bring his drawings, apply for approval, and obtain same. Right? Even if it's not conforming, we're trying to bring, our exercise now is to bring everybody to conformity. There is an amnesty period right now. So ordinarily, when you have built, you're not just seeking approval, you're supposed to pay a penal fee. But His Excellency has graciously approved that he's given an amnesty to Lagosians. That, okay, all of you working willingly, don't let me come after you again. Bring your drawings and we will approve for you.
In part 2, after the break, we'll take further look at the issue of Nigeria's quest for a corruption-free society. We'll be examining how that fight is shaping up in the business sector. Please stay with us.